Welcome to this transformative journey, and thank you for choosing to invest in yourself today. You are about to unlock insights that can completely reshape the way you understand people, relationships, and the invisible dynamics that guide human behavior. This is Mastering Human Behavior and Social Intelligence, audiobook, written and published by Readflow Audiobooks. In the chapters ahead, you will discover the psychology behind why people act the way they do, how social cues shape interactions, and how you can elevate your own influence and emotional awareness. Whether your goal is to build stronger connections, navigate conflicts with confidence, or lead with clarity and empathy, this audiobook will give you the tools to rise above surface-level interactions and truly master the art of human connection. So take a deep breath, open your mind, and get ready. What you are about to learn will not only sharpen your perception of others, but also empower you to grow into the most socially intelligent version of yourself. Chapter 1: Understanding the Foundations of Human Behavior. Every great transformation begins with awareness. If you want to master human behavior and develop social intelligence, you must first understand the foundations that drive people, the invisible forces beneath every action, word, and reaction. Human behavior is not random. It is shaped by patterns, instincts, needs, and experiences. When you begin to see those patterns clearly, you gain an advantage. You stop reacting blindly and instead respond with insight, clarity, and intention. At its core, human behavior is a mix of biology, psychology, and environment. The way someone behaves in a given moment is influenced by three factors: their internal wiring, their learned beliefs, and their current circumstances. By understanding these three layers, you will begin to decode behavior in ways most people cannot. The biological foundation. Every human being carries instincts that date back thousands of years. Our brains evolved to prioritize survival, not happiness. This means behaviors often come from a place of self-preservation, seeking safety, avoiding threats, and securing resources. That's why fear, competition, and status-seeking show up so strongly in people's lives. For example, when someone gets defensive during a conversation, it may not be because they dislike you personally. Their brain might perceive your words as a threat to their sense of competence or identity. By recognizing this, you don't take it personally. You see it as biology at work. Action step: begin noticing when people act out of fear rather than logic. Ask yourself, what might this person be trying to protect? This one question alone will transform the way you interpret human behavior. The psychological foundation. Beyond biology lies psychology, the learned patterns of thought, belief, and perception. Everyone carries a unique lens shaped by their upbringing, culture, and experiences. If someone believes they are unworthy, their behavior may be timid, overly agreeable, or self-sabotaging. If someone believes they must always dominate to be respected, their behavior may come across as controlling or aggressive. When you understand that people act out of their inner scripts, you develop empathy. You stop expecting everyone to see the world as you do. This doesn't mean tolerating unhealthy behavior. It means responding with awareness instead of judgment. Action step: when faced with difficult behavior, pause and ask yourself, what belief might be driving this reaction? Is it fear of rejection, a desire to be respected, a need to be heard? The environmental foundation. The third layer of behavior is environment. People adapt to the situations they are in. Someone might be bold and expressive at home, but quiet and reserved at work. This doesn't mean they're fake. It means behavior is fluid. The environment either encourages or suppresses certain aspects of personality. Social context plays a huge role in this. For instance, group pressure often drives people to act against their values. A normally kind person may go along with unkind behavior in order to feel accepted by their peers. Action step: when observing behavior, zoom out and ask, how is the environment shaping this person right now? This perspective helps you see behavior not as fixed but as adaptive. The core drivers of human behavior. While layers of biology, psychology, and environment matter, human beings share common drivers that influence nearly all behavior. Psychologists often summarize them as core needs. The need for certainty. People want safety, stability, and predictability. The need for variety. At the same time, people crave change, novelty, and stimulation. The need for significance. Everyone wants to feel important, valued, and recognized. The need for love and connection, deep bonds and belonging, are at the heart of human existence. The need for growth. Without progress, people feel stagnant and unfulfilled. The need for contribution. Lasting fulfillment comes from giving and making a difference. Every action can be traced back to one or more of these needs. For example, someone working long hours may say it's about money, but deeper down, it may be about significance, growth, or security. Understanding these needs gives you clarity on what truly motivates people. Action step. Practice identifying the dominant need driving someone's actions. When a friend complains about being overlooked, the underlying need may be significance. When a colleague seems restless, it may be variety. Start decoding conversations in this way. Developing social awareness. Now that you've explored the foundations, it's time to turn this knowledge into social intelligence. Social intelligence is more than just getting along. It's the ability to read emotions, interpret intentions, and respond in a way that creates connection, rather than conflict. Here's where most people go wrong. They listen to words but ignore emotion. Communication is only 7% words, while tone and body language make up the majority of meaning. If someone says "I'm fine" but their tone is sharp and their body is tense, the real message is not the words, it's the underlying emotion. Action step. In your next conversation, focus less on the words and more on the signals, tone of voice, pace of speech, posture, eye contact and gestures. Ask yourself, what emotion is this person really communicating? Managing your own presence. Social intelligence is not just about reading others, it's also about managing yourself. People respond not only to what you say, but to the energy you bring into a space. If you walk into a room stressed and hurried, others will pick up on it and mirror your energy. If you show up calm, grounded, and attentive, you create psychological safety, making others more open to you. Take a deep breath, adjust your posture, and decide the energy you want to project. This tiny practice can dramatically shift the way people respond to you. Building awareness through reflection. Mastery of human behavior begins with awareness, and awareness begins with reflection. Each day, take a few minutes to think about the interactions you had. Ask yourself, what motivated the people I spoke with? What needs were they trying to meet? How did my own energy affect the exchange? What could I do differently next time? The more you reflect, the sharper your perception becomes. Soon what seems invisible to others will be obvious to you. Putting it all together, when you understand the foundations of behavior, you stop being confused by people's actions. Instead, you begin to see the deeper story, the needs, fears, and influences shaping every choice. With this clarity, you can approach situations with calm, empathy, and strategy. And here's the key. This is not about manipulating people. It's about understanding. When you truly see others, you can build trust, create influence, and resolve conflicts with ease. You gain the ability to rise above surface-level reactions and connect at a deeper, human level. This is the first step in mastering human behavior and social intelligence. The journey has only begun. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into the connection between self-belief and identity, and how who you believe you are shapes not only your own behavior, but also the way others respond to you. Chapter 2: The Power of Self-Belief and Identity in Social Mastery. If the foundations of behavior explain why people act as they do, then your identity explains who you believe yourself to be. And this shapes not only your choices but also how others respond to you. Self-belief is the lens through which you see the world, and identity is the script you live by. Together they form the foundation of social intelligence. If you want to master interactions, relationships, and influence, you must first master the way you see yourself. Because here is a truth most people overlook: the world reflects back the identity you project. Identity shapes behavior. Every human being lives in alignment with their identity, whether consciously or unconsciously. If you believe you are shy, you will hesitate in conversations, avoid eye contact, and second-guess yourself in social settings. If you believe you are confident, you will naturally carry yourself with presence, speak with clarity and attract attention without even trying. Identity is not simply what you say about yourself, it is what you accept as true about who you are. It is the story you repeat in your mind until it becomes reality. The fascinating part is this. Identity is fluid. You were not born with the belief that you are shy, outgoing, anxious, or confident. Those stories were shaped by your experiences and reinforced by repetition, which means they can also be reshaped. Action step: begin noticing the identity statements you use, consciously or unconsciously. Do you say things like, "I'm just not good with people," or "I always get nervous in groups"? These are not facts, they are scripts. Once you recognize them, you can begin rewriting them. The link between self-belief and social intelligence. Social mastery is not about learning clever techniques or memorizing tricks. It begins with the energy you carry into every interaction. That energy is shaped by your self-belief. If you believe you have nothing valuable to offer, you will communicate tentatively, and others will sense your hesitation. If you believe your presence brings value, you will communicate with authority, and others will naturally gravitate toward you. Not arrogance, but grounded certainty. When you believe in yourself, you free others to believe in you too. Action step: before any important interaction, remind yourself of one area where you have real strength, skill, or experience. Carry that memory into the conversation. Confidence doesn't come from perfection, it comes from remembering your value. The inner script that shapes every interaction. Think about the last time you entered a new social situation, perhaps a meeting, a gathering, or even a first date. What was the story in your mind as you entered? Were you telling yourself, "I hope they like me," or were you saying, "I bring value wherever I go"? The inner script becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. People often mirror back the energy you project. If you walk in timid, people may overlook you. If you walk in steady and assured, people often treat you with respect. Action step: craft a new inner script for yourself. Instead of walking into situations with doubt, choose a sentence like, "I am calm, confident, and grounded." Repeat it until it feels natural. Your mind and body will begin to align with the words. Identity is built through action. There is a misconception that you must believe in yourself first before taking bold action. The reality is often the opposite. Action builds belief. When you act in alignment with the identity you want, you reinforce it until it becomes real. If you want to become confident, don't wait to feel confident. Begin taking small, confident actions. Speak up once in a meeting, introduce yourself to one new person, maintain eye contact for a few extra seconds. Each action deposits evidence in your mind that says, "This is who I am." Action step: choose one social behavior you want to embody, perhaps speaking more assertively or showing up with calm presence. Commit to practicing it once per day, no matter how small. Over time, these micro-actions accumulate into a new identity. Self-image and influence. Your self-image doesn't just shape how you feel about yourself, it shapes how others perceive you. If you see yourself as someone who deserves respect, your tone, posture, and boundaries naturally communicate that. If you see yourself as unworthy, people often pick up on it unconsciously and treat you accordingly. This is why the work of self-belief is so powerful. By elevating your identity, you elevate the way people respond to you. Action step: practice visualizing yourself as the person you want to be socially: calm, articulate, confident, respected. See yourself walking into a room and owning the space with quiet strength. This mental rehearsal trains your nervous system to embody the image. The role of integrity in identity. One of the fastest ways to strengthen self-belief is to align your actions with your values. When you do what you say you will do, even in small things, you build trust with yourself. That self-trust is the foundation of confidence. For example, if you tell yourself, "I will speak up once in this meeting," and then you follow through, you reinforce the identity of someone who keeps commitments. Each time you act with integrity, you strengthen the belief that you are reliable, capable, and strong. Action step: Set one small promise to yourself daily in the area of social behavior. Keep it. It can be as simple as, I will greet 3 people today with direct eye contact and a smile. Over time, these micro-promises compound into unshakable self-belief. How self-belief fuels social mastery. When you combine strong self-belief with awareness of others, you unlock true social intelligence. Instead of entering interactions with fear or self-doubt, you approach them with grounded confidence. Instead of worrying about how you are being perceived, you focus on understanding others. This creates a shift. You stop trying to perform socially and start connecting authentically. People sense when you are genuine, when your energy comes from a place of inner strength, rather than insecurity. That is when you gain influence, not through force but through reflection and integration. By mastering your self-belief and reshaping your identity, you are not just improving your own confidence, you are setting the stage for powerful, authentic social mastery. This is where the journey begins, with you, because once you master the way you see yourself, the way you relate to others transforms naturally. And with that foundation in place, the next step is to embrace the struggles and challenges of human interaction, not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow and strengthen your social intelligence. Chapter 3. Embracing struggle and turning obstacles into fuel for growth. One of the greatest truths of human behavior and social mastery is this: growth rarely comes from comfort. The very moments that stretch you, challenge you, and even frustrate you are the ones that shape your character, sharpen your intelligence, and expand your influence. Struggle is not the enemy. It is the crucible where mastery is forged. Yet most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort. They sidestep challenges, withdraw from conflict, and interpret setbacks as signs to quit. What they fail to see is that every obstacle carries within it an opportunity, an invitation to rise, to learn, and to strengthen the qualities that make social intelligence and personal mastery possible. To master human behavior, you must first master your relationship with struggle. You must learn to lean into it, to transform it, and to use it as fuel for growth. Why struggle is essential for growth? From a psychological perspective, growth only happens when your current patterns are disrupted. Think about it. If everything stays the same, your habits, your environment, your thinking, you remain the same. Struggle forces you to confront the edges of your comfort zone. It pushes you into situations where you must adapt, stretch, and develop new strategies. Consider a muscle. It only grows when placed under resistance. Without the strain of lifting weight, it remains the same. Human character works the same way. Struggle is resistance training for the mind and soul. When you embrace this truth, you stop fearing obstacles. Instead, you begin to welcome them as the very experiences that shape you into the person you're meant to become. Action step. Begin reframing challenges by asking yourself, what skill or strength is this moment training in me? By shifting from resistance to curiosity, you immediately turn struggle into an opportunity. Obstacles as mirrors. Struggles are not random. They reveal something important about you. Every obstacle you face reflects your beliefs, fears, or blind spots. They act like mirrors, showing you what you need to address in order to grow. For example, if you constantly feel ignored in conversations, the obstacle is not simply the people around you. The mirror may be showing you that you need to develop assertiveness, presence, or clarity in your communication. If you find yourself repeatedly anxious in social gatherings, the struggle may be pointing to an identity issue, a lack of self-belief that needs strengthening. Instead of blaming external circumstances, use obstacles as diagnostic tools. They tell you exactly where you need to evolve. Action step. The next time you encounter a recurring struggle, pause and ask, what is this trying to teach me about myself? What skill, habit, or belief must I strengthen to move beyond this? The psychology of reframing struggle. Socially intelligent people have a unique trait. They reframe struggle faster than others. Where most people see rejection, they see redirection. Where most people see failure, they see feedback. Where most people see conflict, they see an opportunity to deepen understanding. This mindset shift is not just positive thinking, it is strategic thinking. By reframing obstacles, you prevent yourself from being paralyzed by fear or discouragement. Instead, you channel your energy into finding solutions, adapting, and growing. Example: Thomas Edison famously reframed his thousands of failed attempts at creating the light bulb, not as failures, but as steps toward discovering what would not work. Each setback was fuel for refinement. In your own life, rejection in a relationship or criticism at work can be reframed as valuable data, guiding you toward improvement. Action step: develop a reframe habit. Whenever you hit a wall, immediately ask, how is this serving me? What strength is this building that I would not develop without this struggle? Yet it is precisely in managing these emotions that you build resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to stay calm, composed and resourceful under pressure. Without struggle, resilience cannot be developed. Just as a ship is tested in rough seas, your ability to stay steady is tested in moments of adversity. Action step: the next time you face a stressful challenge, resist the urge to escape. Instead, practice deep breathing, center yourself, and remind yourself, this is my training ground. Over time, these moments become less intimidating because you've practiced resilience. These moments are uncomfortable, but they are also the most powerful opportunities for growth in relationships. Without these challenges, your social skills remain shallow. It is only by navigating them that you develop depth, wisdom, and true confidence in relationships. Ask yourself, what skill can I strengthen by engaging with this challenge instead of avoiding it? Resistance: your mind resists, wanting to escape or avoid. Engagement: you choose to lean into the challenge instead of running. Learning: you discover new skills, strategies, or insights. Growth: you emerge stronger, more capable, and more confident. Every cycle of struggle builds a new layer of strength. Over time, the very things that once intimidated you become easy. This is how mastery is built, one obstacle at a time. Action step: reflect on a past struggle you once thought was overwhelming but now feels simple. Notice how the growth cycle worked for you then. Use this memory to remind yourself that current challenges will one day feel just as manageable. Turning pain into purpose. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of struggle is that it gives you the ability to transform pain into purpose. The difficulties you overcome can become the very tools you use to help, inspire, and connect with others. People are drawn to those who have endured struggle and grown from it. Why? Because resilience is magnetic. When you share how you've turned obstacles into strength, you give others hope. Your struggles, when reframed, become part of your influence. Action step: identify one past struggle that shaped you for the better. How did it build character, skills, or wisdom you wouldn't otherwise have? Begin to see your current struggles as part of this same process. Practical practices for embracing struggle. Journaling: write about your daily struggles and identify the lessons hidden in them. Exposure: intentionally place yourself in small, uncomfortable situations to train resilience. Speak up in a meeting, introduce yourself to a stranger, or ask a difficult question. Reflection: at the end of each week, review the challenges you faced. What skills did they sharpen? What fears did they reveal? Gratitude: practice thanking your struggles. Literally write, I am grateful for this challenge because it is teaching me X. Gratitude rewires your brain to see obstacles as allies. Closing the chapter: when you shift your relationship with struggle, you shift your relationship with growth. No longer do you avoid discomfort. Instead, you welcome it as the training ground of mastery. No longer do you see obstacles as barriers, you see them as stepping stones. This is the mindset of those who rise above mediocrity. They don't fear the storm, they learn to sail through it. And as you strengthen this skill, not only does your personal resilience grow, but your social intelligence deepens. You become the person others look to in times of challenge, the one who can remain steady, adapt, and find solutions. The journey of mastery is not about escaping struggle, it is about transforming it. And in the next chapter, we will explore how discipline, consistency, and the building of unstoppable habits turn this mindset into a lifelong practice of growth and influence. Chapter 4. Discipline, Consistency, and Building Unstoppable Habits. If struggle is the crucible where strength is forged, then discipline and consistency are the engines that sustain growth. They are the difference fleeting motivation and lasting transformation. Many people start with fire in their hearts, but quickly burn out because they rely on inspiration alone. Those who achieve mastery, whether in self-mastery, social intelligence, or any other domain, are the ones who learn to harness discipline and consistency to carry them when motivation fades. Think of it like this. Motivation is the spark, but discipline is the fuel that keeps the fire alive long after the spark has disappeared. Consistency, in turn, is the rhythm of daily action that builds momentum and compounds results. Together, these qualities form the backbone of mastery. Without them, even the most gifted minds fall short. With them, even the most ordinary individuals can achieve extraordinary outcomes. It is not about punishment, restriction, or living joylessly. It is about aligning your daily actions with your higher goals. Psychologically, discipline works because it reduces the role of decision fatigue. When you set rules for yourself, wake up at a certain time, practice a certain skill daily, eat in a certain way, you remove endless debate from your mind. Instead of wasting mental energy deciding what to do, you simply follow the standard you've set. This is why disciplined people often appear to have more freedom. They've eliminated unnecessary choices. By building structure, they create space for focus, energy, and creativity. Action step. Choose one area of your life where indecision drains you. Create a simple rule to eliminate wasted choices. For example, I go to the gym at 6 a.m. No debate. Or I check social media only after 5 p.m. Never before. The power of consistency. Consistency transforms effort into result. Doing something once may make you feel good, but doing it daily ingrains it into your identity. Every repeated action is like laying another brick in the foundation of who you are. Here's the truth most people avoid. Consistency matters more than intensity. Reading for 10 minutes daily will change your mind more than reading for 2 hours once a month. Practicing communication skills for 15 minutes every day will strengthen your social intelligence more than attending a seminar once a year. The brain is wired for repetition. Neural pathways strengthen every time you repeat an action, making it easier and more automatic. This is why consistent practice is more powerful than bursts of enthusiasm. Action step. Identify one small habit that aligns with your bigger goal. Commit to doing it daily, no matter how small the step. Remember, it's not about how much you do in one day, it's about what you repeat over time. Once a habit is formed, it runs almost automatically, freeing your mind for higher-level thinking. But to build unstoppable habits, you must understand how habits are formed. The habit loop consists of 3 parts. Cue, the trigger that initiates the behavior. Routine, the action itself. Reward, the benefit you gain, which reinforces the habit. By manipulating these 3 elements, you can build powerful new habits or break destructive ones. For example, if you want to build the habit of daily meditation, you might Cue, place your meditation cushion in plain sight. Routine, meditate for 5 minutes each morning. Reward, mark a check on your calendar, giving yourself the satisfaction of visual progress. Over time, the habit becomes ingrained, requiring less effort to maintain. Action step. Pick one high-value habit and consciously design its cue, routine, and reward. Remember, start small, because habits compound. The myth of willpower. Many people believe they lack discipline because they lack willpower, but willpower is like a battery. It drains with overuse. The secret to lasting discipline is not to depend on willpower, but to design your environment and systems so that the disciplined choice becomes the easiest choice. Want to work out? Lay out your clothes the night before. By shaping your environment, you reduce reliance on sheer willpower. This is why those who appear highly disciplined are often simply masters of preparation and design. Action step. Identify one habit you've struggled with, and redesign your environment to make success easier. Remove friction for the good habit, and add friction for the bad one. Compound growth through discipline. Discipline and consistency compound just like interest in a bank account. Small, repeated actions add up to massive results over time. The problem is, most people give up before they see the compounding effect. They expect instant results, and when they don't see them, they quit. But mastery belongs to those who can stay consistent long enough for the compound effect to work in their favor. Reading 10 pages a day becomes hundreds of books over a decade. Saving a small amount daily becomes financial freedom years later. Practicing social skills regularly transforms you from shy to magnetic. Action step. Pick one goal and commit to small, daily actions for at least 9. Track your progress not to chase perfection, but to witness the compounding power of consistency. When you discipline your emotions, you prevent external triggers from controlling your behavior. Consistency in emotional habits, such as reframing negative thoughts or practicing gratitude daily, creates resilience and inner stability. This emotional consistency makes you a pillar of strength in social settings. People trust and gravitate toward those who remain steady, regardless of circumstances. Action step. Build a daily emotional habit, such as starting each morning by writing down 3 things you're grateful for, or practicing 2 minutes of calm breathing before important interaction. The identity of a disciplined person. Instead of saying, "I want to exercise more," you say, "I am a person who trains daily." Instead of "I want to read more," you say, "I am a reader." Identity fuels discipline, and discipline reinforces identity. The cycle is self-sustained. Action step. Write down one identity statement aligned with your goal. For example, "I am the kind of person who always follows through on my commitments." Read it daily, and act in alignment with it. Putting it all together, discipline provides structure. Consistency provides rhythm. Habits provide automation. Together, they create unstoppable momentum. This is why the most successful individuals often appear unshakable. They don't rely on bursts of motivation. They rely on systems, routines, and discipline. This frees them from the roller coaster of emotion and keeps them on the path to mastery, no matter what. By committing to discipline and consistency, you transform yourself from someone who reacts to circumstances into someone who shapes them. You become a master of your time, your actions, and your growth. Closing the chapter. Struggle may forge you, but discipline sustains you. Habits are the bricks. Consistency is the mortar, and discipline is the architect that builds the unshakable foundation of your life. Mastery is not a one-time event. It is the daily repetition of disciplined action. Every small step compounds into extraordinary transformation, and once you understand this truth, you'll never again underestimate the power of simple, consistent habit. In the next chapter, we will take this foundation even further by exploring resilience and the ability to stay calm under pressure, because true mastery is not only about what you do when things are easy, but about how steady you remain when life tests you to the core. Chapter 5. Resilience and staying calm under pressure. Life is not measured by how you perform when the waters are calm, but by how steady you remain when storms rage. Resilience, the ability to adapt, endure, and thrive under pressure, is the quality that separates those who collapse at the first sign of hardship from those who rise stronger after every challenge. To master human behavior and social intelligence, you must cultivate resilience not just as a reaction to difficulty, but as a constant way of being. Resilience is not the absence of struggle. It is not about avoiding difficulty or pretending everything is fine when it isn't. Instead, resilience is the capacity to remain grounded, calm, and focused in the face of pressure, uncertainty, or failure. It is the ability to bend without breaking, to adjust without losing direction, and to endure without surrendering your core values. The nature of pressure. Pressure is not inherently negative. Pressure reveals your character, magnifies your strengths, and exposes your weaknesses. In social interactions, pressure often shows up as confrontation, rejection, competition, or unexpected changes. In personal life, it emerges as financial strain, loss, deadlines, or crises. What pressure really does is strip away illusions. It removes the comfort of routine and forces you to see who you are at your core. That's why cultivating resilience is so critical. You are not preparing for if pressure comes, but for when it does. Action step. Write down 3 areas in your life where you feel pressure most strongly. Ask yourself, what is this pressure teaching me about myself? Where does it expose weakness, and where does it highlight strength? The psychology of resilience. At the psychological level, resilience is built on 3 pillars: perception, regulation, and recovery. Perception. How you interpret pressure matters more than the pressure itself. If you see it as a threat, your body goes into fight or flight, clouding judgment. If you see it as a challenge, your mind sharpens and energy mobilizes constructive regulation. This is the ability to regulate emotions in the moment. A resilient person feels the surge of stress, but doesn't let it dictate reckless action. They breathe, pause, and respond instead of reacting. Recovery after pressure. Resilient individuals recover quickly. Instead of dwelling on mistakes or setbacks, they restore energy, learn the lesson, and re-engage with renewed focus. Action step. Reframe pressure the next time it arises. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How is this happening for me? What strength is it calling me to build?" Staying calm in the storm. Calmness under pressure is not about suppressing emotions. It is about mastering them. Think of calmness as a shield. When others panic, lose focus, or spiral into negativity, calmness keeps you steady, allowing you to act with clarity while others stumble. The key to staying calm under pressure lies in preparation. You don't suddenly become calm in a crisis. You practice calmness in daily life until it becomes your default response. Breathwork, mindfulness, journaling, and controlled exposure to small stresses all prepare your nervous system to remain steady in bigger storms. Action step. Start practicing controlled calm daily. For example, when stuck in traffic or waiting in line, instead of letting frustration build, consciously slow your breath and train yourself to stay grounded. These small practices build resilience muscles for larger challenges. Emotional resilience in social dynamics. In human behavior and social intelligence, resilience is often tested in relationships and interactions. You will face rejection, criticism, and misunderstanding. How you respond to these moments determines whether you remain respected or lose credibility. The resilient person doesn't crumble under criticism or lash out defensively. They listen, filter the useful from the useless, and maintain composure. This emotional resilience builds trust. People admire those who can stay steady when tensions rise, because it signals strength and leadership. Action step. The next time you feel criticized or rejected, resist the urge to react immediately. Pause, breathe, and ask, "Is this feedback useful, or is it just noise?" Calm reflection turns potential humiliation into personal growth. Resilience as a habit. Resilience is not an on-off switch. It is a habit developed through repeated exposure to challenge. Every time you face stress with calmness instead of panic, you strengthen your resilience muscle. Every time you recover quickly instead of wallowing in defeat, you reinforce your adaptability. This is why many highly resilient people often have difficult pasts. Struggle, when met with the right mindset, trains resilience. Instead of asking for a life free of hardship, ask for the strength to rise through hardship. Action step. Reflect on one difficult period in your past. Identify at least one strength it gave you. Patience, courage, resourcefulness. Recognize that challenge didn't weaken you. It shaped you. The role of self-trust. Resilience cannot exist without self-trust. To remain calm under pressure, you must believe in your capacity to handle whatever comes. This doesn't mean you know the exact solution. It means you trust that you will figure it out. Self-trust comes from repeated experiences of following through. When you say you'll do something and keep your word, you reinforce the belief that you can rely on yourself. Over time, this belief becomes unshakable. Action step. Build self-trust by making and keeping small promises to yourself daily. Even something as simple as "I will drink 2 liters of water today," when kept, reinforces your belief in yourself. The ones who shine under pressure are not always the most physically gifted, but the most mentally resilient. They trust their training, regulate their emotions, and perform with calm focus when others collapse. Or think of leaders in crisis. When chaos breaks out, the resilient leader does not amplify panic, but anchors their team with steadiness. Their calmness is contagious, spreading clarity and courage to others. You too can become this anchor in your life. Whether in your career, relationships, or personal battles, your ability to stay calm under pressure will elevate not only you, but those around you. Practical tools for building resilience. Breathing practices. Train your nervous system with techniques like box breathing. Inhale 4 seconds, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. Simple but powerful under stress. The brain responds to visualization similarly to real experience, strengthening resilience pathways. Debrief and learn. After pressure, reflect. What did you do well? What can improve? This transforms pressure into training rather than trauma. Closing the chapter. Resilience is not a gift. It is a skill. Calm under pressure is not luck. It is preparation. Every moment of difficulty is an invitation to strengthen your foundation, deepen your trust in yourself, and emerge stronger. The storms of life will come. People will test you. Circumstances will challenge you. But if you cultivate resilience, you will bend without breaking, adapt without losing yourself, and shine with calmness when the world around you loses control. In the next chapter, we will sharpen this even further by diving into self-control and delayed gratification, the twin forces that transform raw resilience into sustained progress. If resilience helps you endure the storm, self-control ensures you stay on the path long after the storm has passed. Chapter 6. Self-control and delayed gratification. If resilience is the ability to withstand pressure, then self-control is the power to direct that energy. It is the inner discipline to resist short-term impulses in pursuit of long-term goals. Without self-control, even the strongest resilience is wasted. You may endure difficulty, but if you constantly give in to temptations, distractions, or emotions, you will sabotage your progress. Delayed gratification, the ability to wait, to hold back immediate pleasures for greater rewards later, is the natural partner of self-control. Together they form the backbone of success in any area of life, from personal growth to career advancement, from financial security to emotional mastery. Without it, you are at the mercy of impulses, emotions, and external triggers. You might know what you should do, but if you lack control, you won't follow through. Think of how many dreams die not because of a lack of vision, but because of a lack of discipline. The person who wants to write a book but spends hours scrolling through their phone. The student who wants good grades but procrastinates until deadlines crush them. The professional who desires success but consistently avoids the hard, uncomfortable tasks. Self-control bridges the gap between intention and execution. It allows you to tow through when motivation fades, because you are no longer ruled by fleeting feelings. You are guided by principle and purpose. Action step. Reflect on one area of your life where lack of self-control has cost you progress. Acknowledge it without shame, and write down one specific daily action you will now commit to in order to reclaim that control. The science of delayed gratification. One of the most famous experiments, the marshmallow test, placed young children in front of a marshmallow and told them they could eat it immediately, or wait and receive 2 marshmallows later. Years later, researchers found that the children who waited tended to achieve higher levels of success in school, relationships, and careers. The lesson is simple but profound. The ability to wait for a greater reward is a predictor of long-term success, but the ability to delay gratification is not natural. It is trained. Action step. Begin practicing delayed gratification in small ways daily. When you crave an indulgence like checking social media, eating a snack, or buying something unnecessary, pause. Tell yourself, not yet, I'll wait. Each moment of restraint strengthens your willpower like lifting a weight strengthens your muscles. The secret is to train it gradually and consistently. Start small. Don't begin with your biggest weaknesses. Begin with manageable challenges. If you want to wake up earlier, start with 15 minutes earlier, not 2 hours. Small wins build confidence. Build routines. Habits reduce the need for willpower. When a behavior becomes automatic, self-control is conserved. Structure your day to support discipline rather than drain it. Remove temptations. The easiest way to practice self-control is to avoid unnecessary battles. If you want to eat healthier, don't stock junk food in your home. Self-control thrives when your environment supports it. Use accountability. Share your goals with someone you respect. Knowing someone else is watching strengthens your resolve when temptations strike. Action step. Pick one daily discipline you want to strengthen. Create an environment that supports it. Break it into small steps, and commit to practicing it consistently for the next 30. Emotional self-control. True mastery of self-control goes beyond habits. It extends into emotions. How often do people sabotage themselves not because of external challenges, but because of emotional reactivity? Anger, fear, frustration, jealousy, all are emotions that, if unchecked, can destroy progress and relationships. Emotional self-control doesn't mean you suppress feelings. It means you acknowledge them without being controlled by them. You feel anger rising but choose calm. You feel fear but choose courage. You feel doubt but choose action anyway. Action step. The next time you feel a strong emotion, don't react immediately. Pause. Name the emotion out loud. I am feeling anger. I am feeling. This simple act of naming separates you from the emotion and allows your rational mind to regain control. Most people choose the short-term reward. They trade long-term health for immediate indulgence, long-term wealth for impulsive spending, long-term growth for temporary comfort. But if you consistently choose the long-term over the short-term, you will create a life most people only dream of. Success compounds. Every time you resist the urge to quit, to indulge, to drift, you build momentum. Action step. Write down one long-term goal that truly matters to you. Then list 3 short-term temptations that usually derail you from this goal. Commit to eliminating or resisting those temptations for the next 90 days. People with low self-control are unpredictable, easily manipulated, and often regret their actions. They lash out, overreact, or reveal too much. This erodes trust. But those with strong self-control command respect. They speak with intention, act with thoughtfulness, and remain composed under provocation. Their calmness gives them influence. Their restraint earns admiration. Action step. The next time you are in a heated conversation, consciously slow down your responses. Speak less, listen more. People often reveal their true intentions when given silence, while those who rush to speak often reveal weakness. Systems reduce reliance on momentary motivation. Automate good choices. Use tools that reduce decision fatigue. Meal prepping, scheduled workouts, or even financial auto-transfers into savings. Reward yourself wisely. Build in delayed rewards. For example, after completing a week of discipline, allow yourself a small celebration. This keeps motivation high without derailing progress. Closing the chapter. Self-control and delayed gratification are not restrictions. They are liberations. When you master them, you are no longer enslaved by impulses, temptations, or distractions. You become the driver of your life, not the passenger. Remember this. Every act of discipline is a declaration of freedom. Every time you delay gratification, you are telling the world, I choose my destiny over my desire. In the next chapter, we will face one of the greatest obstacles to both self-control and resilience: fear and self-doubt. These inner enemies often paralyze people even when they know the right action to take. We will learn how to master them, transform them, and move forward with courage. Chapter 7: Overcoming Fear and Self-Doubt Through Thought Control. Fear and self-doubt are the silent thieves of progress. They rarely announce themselves loudly. Instead, they whisper in your mind, "You're not ready. You're not good enough. You might fail. People will judge you." And with those whispers, they paralyze you. They keep you from speaking up in a meeting, from starting that project, from pursuing that dream, from stepping into your full power. But here's the truth. Fear and self-doubt are not enemies you can eliminate. They are companions that every human carries. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is not the absence of fear, it is mastery over it. And that mastery begins in the realm of thought control. The nature of fear. Fear exists for survival. It kept our ancestors alive by alerting them to danger. But in the modern world, fear often misfires. It interprets public speaking as life-threatening, rejection as fatal, and change as deadly. The physiological responses, racing heart, sweaty palms, shallow breathing, are the same as if a predator were chasing you. Recognize this. Fear is not a prophecy. It is a feeling, and feelings are not facts. Fear predicts failure without evidence. It magnifies risk and minimizes possibility. Left unchecked, it convinces you that comfort equals safety and risk equals death. Action step: the next time fear arises, pause and ask, is this fear protecting me from real danger, or is it trying to keep me comfortable? Most of the time you'll realize fear is simply protecting you from discomfort, not death. The voice of self-doubt. If fear is the feeling, self-doubt is the voice. It is the internal dialogue that undermines your confidence and exaggerates your flaws. Self-doubt thrives on comparison. You look at others and believe they are more talented, more capable, more prepared. You measure your worst moments against their highlights and conclude you don't measure up. But self-doubt is not truth. It is perception, and perceptions can be reshaped. Through conscious thought control, you can reframe the voice of doubt into one of determination. Action step: write down 3 common self-doubt phrases you tell yourself. For each one, write a counter-statement rooted in truth. For example, I'm not good enough becomes I am growing stronger every day, and progress is enough. Left unguarded, they build prisons of fear and ceilings of self-doubt, but when trained, they become weapons of clarity and shields of courage. 3 principles of thought control. Awareness. You cannot control what you don't recognize. Begin by observing your thoughts without judgment. Notice the patterns of negativity or fear that repeat. Interruption. When a fearful or doubtful thought arises, interrupt it. Say out loud, stop, that's not my truth. This disrupts the automatic spiral. Replacement. Immediately install a new thought, one that empowers. If fear says, you will fail, replace it with, even failure is feedback that moves me forward. Action step. Practice a 3-step drill. Awareness, interruption, replacement at least once daily. Over time, this rewires your brain to default to strength, rather than fear. Reframing fear as fuel. Fear does not have to paralyze, it can energize. The same adrenaline that makes your heart pound before a presentation can also sharpen your focus and heighten your performance. Athletes, performers and leaders all experience fear, but they interpret it differently. Instead of saying, I'm nervous, say, I'm excited. The physiological response is almost identical. The only difference is interpretation. This reframing transforms fear into fuel. Action step. Before a high-pressure situation, place your hand on your chest and say, this is energy, this is power, I will use it. Feel the fear not as an enemy, but as an ally giving you the strength to rise. Courage as action, despite fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act anyway. Every time you act despite fear, you weaken its hold. Every time you surrender to fear, you strengthen it. Think back to moments in your life when you pushed past fear, whether speaking in public, trying something new, or confronting a challenge. Notice how afterward, the fear seemed smaller. This is the compounding effect of courage. The more you practice it, the less control fear has over you. Action step. Identify one thing you've been avoiding out of fear. Take one small action toward it within the next 24 hours. Momentum is built through action, not avoidance. If your mind says, you can't do this, prove it wrong with consistent action. Each success, no matter how small, is evidence that weakens the voice of doubt. Keep a victory journal. Write down every time you accomplish something that once felt intimidating. Over time, you build a library of proof that you are capable. When doubt whispers, you have evidence to silence it. Action step. Start your victory journal today. Record 3 moments from your past where you overcame fear or succeeded despite doubt. Each time doubt arises, revisit this record. Guarding your mental environment. Fear and self-doubt are not only internal, they are influenced by your environment. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the conversations you engage in all shape your thoughts. Surround yourself with voices that encourage, not discourage. Limit exposure to negativity, gossip and criticism. Feed your mind with empowering books, podcasts and environments. Action step. Audit your circle. Write down the names of 5 people you spend the most time with. Do they fuel your courage or your doubt? Commit to spending more time with those who lift you and less with those who drain you. Meditation, affirmations, journaling, and visualization are all practices that reinforce control over your thoughts. Journaling allows you to release toxic thoughts and reframe them. Visualization programs your mind to expect success rather than failure. Action step. Choose one thought control practice and commit to it daily for the next 30 days. Even 10 minutes a day will reshape your mental landscape. Closing the chapter. Fear and self-doubt are not destiny. They are habits of thought, and like any habit, they can be changed. With awareness, interruption, replacement and consistent practice, you can transform fear into fuel and doubt into determination. Remember this, the mind is a battlefield. If you win the war of thoughts, you win the war of life. Control your thoughts, and you control your destiny. In the next chapter, we will explore another critical layer of mastery, detachment and letting go. Because true inner calm does not come from controlling everything. It comes from releasing what you cannot control and standing unshaken no matter the storm. Chapter 8. Detachment. Letting go and keeping your inner calm unshaken. One of the greatest powers a human being can cultivate is the power of detachment. Not detachment in the sense of apathy or indifference, but the kind of calm, deliberate separation that allows you to stand strong and unshaken in the face of chaos. Detachment is not about not caring, it's about caring without being consumed. It's about acting with clarity, not reacting with panic. Most people live in a state of entanglement, tied to outcomes, attached to opinions, weighed down by circumstances beyond their control. They cling to what others think, what might happen tomorrow, or what went wrong yesterday, and as a result, their inner calm is constantly shaken. A single negative comment can ruin their entire day. A small setback can make them question their entire journey. But those who master detachment rise above this constant turbulence. They move through life with an unshakable presence. Their peace is not fragile. It cannot be stolen by gossip, shaken by failure, or destroyed by external storms. Their calm comes from within, and because it is not built on external validation, it cannot be taken away. This is the essence of detachment. Freedom from the need to control what cannot be controlled, and mastery over what can always be mastered. Your own mind, your own actions, your own responses. They imagine a detached person as distant, emotionless, disconnected. But true detachment is the opposite. It is clarity, strength, and balance. It allows you to engage deeply with life without being imprisoned by it. Think of a surgeon in the operating room. They care deeply about saving their patient. But if they become overwhelmed with emotion, fear, panic, or attachment to the outcome, they cannot perform. Detachment allows them to stay focused, calm, and effective, even in the most critical situations. Detachment is not a lack of passion. It is passion under control, and when reality does not meet our expectations, we suffer. Detachment says, I need this to go my way or else I will break. Detachment says, I will give my best, but my peace does not depend on the outcome. The first leads to constant anxiety. The second leads to unshakable calm. The circle of control. The first step to detachment is recognizing what lies within your control and what does not. This is the principle the Stoic philosophers lived by. Your circle of control is small. Your thoughts, your choices, your actions, and your responses. Everything else, other people's opinions, the economy, the weather, the past, is outside of it. When you confuse the two, when you spend your energy trying to control the uncontrollable, you waste your power and lose your peace. But when you focus solely on your circle of control, you gain clarity, direction, and calm. Action step. Draw two circles. In the inner circle, write what you can control, your mindset, effort, discipline, responses. In the outer circle, write what you cannot control, others' actions, the future, the past. Each time you feel stressed, ask yourself, am I focusing on the inner circle or the outer one? This exercise alone can transform your calm. Detachment. Letting go of outcomes. One of the most powerful applications of detachment is letting go of outcomes. Too often, people tie their self-worth and peace of mind to external results. If they succeed, they feel worthy. If they fail, they feel worthless. This creates a fragile life where peace is always conditional. But when you detach from outcomes, you free yourself from this prison. You still work hard, you still give your best, but your calm does not depend on what happens afterward. Imagine planting a seed. You water it, give it sunlight, and nurture it, but you cannot force it to grow on your timeline. All you can do is give your best to the process and allow nature to unfold. Life works the same way. Action step. In your current goals, ask yourself, am I attached to the outcome or committed to the process? If your peace depends only on the result, shift your focus, commit to mastering the process, and let the outcome take care of itself. Detachment from people's opinions. But here's the truth. People's opinions are reflections of their own perspectives, not objective reality. You cannot control how others perceive you, and trying to do so is a guaranteed path to frustration. Detachment from opinions doesn't mean you ignore feedback or refuse to listen. It means you don't let your identity rise and fall with external validation. Your worth is not up for debate. Action step. For the next 24 hours, notice how often you check for approval through likes, comments, or validation. Each time, pause and remind yourself, my value does not increase or decrease based on opinions. I am steady. Emotional detachment in conflict. One of the greatest tests of detachment is during conflict. When someone insults you, provokes you, or disrespects you, your immediate reaction is to fight back, to defend, to retaliate. But this only pulls you into their storm. Emotional detachment allows you to remain calm and respond with clarity. It does not mean being passive. It means choosing your response instead of reacting impulsively. When you detach, you are no longer controlled by another person's behavior. Action step. The next time someone triggers you, pause before responding. Take one deep breath and ask, do I want to mirror their chaos or keep my calm? Choose calm. This single pause can change everything. Detachment from the past and future. Many people lose their peace not because of the present moment, but because they are stuck in the past or anxious about the future. They replay old mistakes, regret missed opportunities, or worry endlessly about what's coming next. But the past is unchangeable, and the future is unknowable. Only the present moment is within your control. Detachment means letting go of what has already happened, releasing what may happen, and anchoring yourself in what you can do now. Action step. Each morning, write down, today I will give my best to what is within my control. I release the rest. This daily practice realigns your focus on the present. Detachment as power, not weakness. There is immense strength in detachment. It allows you to step into situations without fear, because you are no longer controlled by outcomes or opinions. It allows you to face challenges with calm, because your peace does not depend on circumstances. Detachment does not make you less human. It makes you more powerful, because your emotions serve you instead of enslaving you. Journaling, release. Write down what is bothering you, then ask, is this in my control? If not, let it go. Digital boundaries. Limit your time on social media, where constant comparison fuels attachment to opinion. Minimalism practice. Detach from material possessions by intentionally letting go of items you don't need. This trains your mind to release attachment. Meditation. Daily meditation strengthens awareness of your thoughts and helps you release them instead of clinging. The unshakable self. The goal of detachment is not withdrawal from life. It is mastery within life. It is the ability to remain unshaken, no matter what storm rages outside. Imagine yourself as a mountain. Winds blow, storms come, seasons change, but the mountain remains steady. That is what detachment makes of you. A calm center in a chaotic world. When you reach this state, your peace is no longer conditional. You do not break when criticized. You do not crumble when you fail. You do not lose yourself when things don't go your way. You remain calm, present and powerful. Closing the chapter. Detachment is freedom. Freedom from outcomes. Freedom from opinions. Freedom from the past and future. Freedom from the constant storms of life. This is not indifference. It is mastery. It is the ability to live fully, love deeply, and give your best, without being enslaved by results or reaction. In the next and final chapter, we will bring this journey together, showing how lifelong calm mastery and unshakable peace are not just concepts, but a way of life that transforms every aspect of who you are and how you live. Chapter 9. Creating unstoppable momentum through consistency and inner discipline. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human life. It is the invisible current that carries you forward, multiplying the impact of your efforts and making progress feel inevitable. When you have momentum, what once felt difficult becomes effortless. Small steps compound into massive results. Your confidence grows, your energy rises, and your progress accelerates. But momentum is not a gift you wait for. It is something you create, and the way you create unstoppable momentum is through the marriage of two essential qualities: consistency and inner discipline. Momentum matters. Think of a train. When it is at rest, it takes enormous energy to get it moving. A single block in front of its wheels can stop it. But once that same train is moving at full speed, it becomes nearly impossible to stop. It can smash through obstacles that would have blocked it at the start. Momentum in life works the same way. At the fem of any pursuit, building calm, changing habits, strengthening relationships, the effort feels heavy. Every step feels like a struggle. But if you stay consistent and disciplined, the momentum builds. Soon you find yourself moving forward almost effortlessly, breaking through barriers that once felt impossible. This is why mastering momentum is essential for anyone who wants lifelong calm mastery and unshakable peace. Consistency, the foundation of momentum. The secret to momentum is not massive action once in a while. It is small, deliberate action repeated daily. Consistency creates the compound effect. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. They burn themselves out chasing quick results, then quit when the progress doesn't come fast enough. But the masters understand that real transformation is built brick by brick. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about showing up every day, even when it's not convenient, even when motivation is low. It's about keeping your word to yourself. Each time you follow through, you strengthen your identity as someone who is disciplined, reliable, and unshakable. Action step: choose one practice that builds your calm. Journaling, meditation, or conscious breathing. Commit to doing it for 10 minutes every day for the next 30 days. No excuses. The goal is not intensity but consistency. Inner discipline, the engine of momentum. Consistency without discipline collapses under pressure. Discipline is what holds you steady when emotions, distractions, and temptations try to pull you off course. Discipline is not about restriction. It's about freedom. It is the ability to do what you know you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. It is the bridge between intention and action. Without it, your goals remain dreams. With it, you turn those dreams into reality. Discipline also gives you sovereignty over yourself. When you master discipline, you are no longer controlled by impulse, emotion, or external circumstances. You choose your actions deliberately. This control is what fuels momentum. Action step: write down 3 areas of your life where lack of discipline is costing you progress. Then write the opposite behaviors, the disciplined actions you need. Start with just one, and commit to practicing it daily. The rhythm of discipline and consistency. Momentum comes when consistency and discipline work together. Consistency provides steady progress. Discipline ensures you don't break the rhythm when challenges come. Together, they create unstoppable forward motion. Now imagine the strength of a drummer refusing to miss the beat, no matter how tired or distracted they feel. That is discipline. Combined, they create music that moves everything forward. A chaotic life creates chaotic results. But when you design your days with routines, you automate consistency and reduce the need for constant willpower. Morning routine. Begin each day with intentional calm. Instead of rushing into emails or social media, start with practices that strengthen your mind. Gratitude journaling, meditation, stretching, or setting clear intentions. This creates calm momentum that carries into the rest of the day. Work routine. Break your tasks into focused blocks. Discipline yourself to work without distraction for a set time, then rest. This builds mental toughness while maintaining energy. Evening routine. End each day by reviewing what went well and what can improve. Detach from the day's stresses and prepare for restful sleep. Consistency in closing your day right ensures you wake up stronger. But resistance is not a sign that you're failing. It's proof that you're growing. The heavier the resistance, the more important the work you are doing. Momentum is built by pushing through these moments, not avoiding them. Each time you act despite resistance, you strengthen your willpower. Each time you let resistance win, you weaken it. Discipline is forged in these battles. Action step. The next time you feel resistance, use the 5-minute rule. Tell yourself you only need to do the task for 5 minutes. Often, once you start, momentum takes over, and you keep going. Each small win builds confidence. Each act of discipline strengthens identity, and together they create unstoppable motion. Don't wait for the perfect moment to begin. Start small. Start now. Drink the glass of water. Take the 5-minute walk. Meditate for 2 minutes. The small win matters more than the size of the action because it builds momentum. Over time, small wins stack into massive victories. Protect your momentum as you would protect a fire in the wind. This means setting boundaries on your time, your energy, and your environment. It means surrounding yourself with people who push you forward, not hold you back. It means saying no to what drains you so you can say yes to what sustains you. Momentum is fragile at first, but once it's strong, it becomes unstoppable. The inner calm of momentum. There is another dimension to momentum beyond productivity and success. It creates inner calm. When you are consistent and disciplined, you no longer feel the anxiety of chaos. You trust yourself. You know that no matter what life throws at you, you will keep moving forward. This calm is powerful. It frees you from overthinking, second-guessing, or doubting. Momentum creates certainty, not because life is certain, but because you are certain of yourself. Closing the chapter. Consistency builds the foundation. Discipline fuels the engine. Together, they create unstoppable momentum. When you live with momentum, life feels lighter. You wake up with clarity. You move with strength. And you respond to challenges with calm confidence. Momentum is not luck. It is not magic. It is the natural result of daily consistency and inner discipline. And once you create it, nothing can stop you. In the final chapter, we will bring everything together, showing how to live a fully transformed life through lifelong calm mastery, unshakable peace, and unstoppable momentum. Chapter 10. Lifelong calm mastery and unshakable peace. There comes a point in every journey where you look back and realize how far you've come. You remember the storms you've weathered, the fears you've faced, the doubts you've overcome. You realize that the person standing here today is not the same as the one who began the journey. That is the essence of transformation. Not a sudden shift, but a steady building of strength, clarity, and mastery until you are no longer reacting to life. You are leading it. This chapter is about living from that place of mastery, not for a day, not for a season, but for a lifetime. The nature of lifelong mastery. Mastery is not perfection. It is not a finish line. It is not a state where challenges vanish and struggles never appear again. Mastery is a way of living. It is choosing calm over chaos, clarity over confusion, and discipline over impulse. Not once but repeatedly, until these choices become your natural state. True mastery is not about what happens around you, but about who you have become within. When storms rise, you remain steady. When distance tempts, you remain focused. When fear whispers, you move forward anyway. This is what it means to live with unshakable peace. The pillars of calm mastery. As we close this journey, let us revisit the pillars that support lifelong mastery. Self-belief and identity. You must believe that you are capable of growth, worthy of peace, and strong enough to remain steady. Identity fuels behavior. You are no longer someone chasing calm. You are someone who lives it. Embracing struggle. Challenges are not setbacks, but fuel for growth. They are the gym in which resilience is built. Every difficulty strengthens the muscles of your mind. Discipline and consistency. Small actions repeated daily build unbreakable momentum. Mastery comes not from intensity, but from steady commitment. Resilience and calm under pressure. You can be in chaos without being of chaos. Your power lies in responding, not reacting. Self-control and delayed gratification. Mastery means you control your impulses instead of being controlled by them. You choose wisely today for the sake of tomorrow. Overcoming fear and doubt. Fear no longer paralyzes you because your thoughts are under your command. Doubt no longer defines you because your actions prove otherwise. Detachment and letting go. You release what does not serve you. You do not cling to outcomes. You remain calm in the face of uncertainty. Momentum and discipline. Once moving, you protect your rhythm. Your steady pace carries you forward, unstoppable and unshaken. Together, these pillars hold up a life of mastery. Instead of needing to win arguments, you choose to preserve peace. In work, you remain steady under deadlines. You focus on progress, not panic. Others may rush and crumble, but you move with calm precision. In solitude, you are at peace with yourself. Silence does not frighten you. You find strength in stillness. In setbacks, you respond with resilience. Failure does not break you. It builds you. You do not ask, why me? You ask, what now? Calm mastery is not about withdrawing from life. It is about meeting life with steady power, wherever you are. The ripple effect of mastery. When you live with calm mastery, your presence changes the world around you. People feel it when they are with you. They sense your steadiness, and it steadies them. They sense your clarity, and it clarifies them. They sense your peace, and it calms them. Your life becomes a ripple. Without preaching, without forcing, you influence others simply by being anchored when they are drifting. This is one of the greatest gifts you can offer. Not advice, not control, but example. Sustaining mastery for life. To sustain calm mastery for life, remember 3 things. Keep practicing. Mastery is not a single achievement. It is renewed every day through practice. Do not stop meditating, reflecting, journaling, or building discipline just because you feel strong. The strength is in the practice. Keep learning. Life will keep presenting new challenges. See them as teachers. Every new situation is an invitation to deepen your mastery. Keep serving. Mastery is not only for yourself. Use it to uplift others. Guide without forcing. Support without controlling. Inspire through action. The peace that cannot be taken. There is a kind of peace that is temporary. The peace of quiet surroundings, of problems solved, of comfort found. But there is also a peace that cannot be taken, no matter the storm. This is the peace you carry within. When you master your inner world, no external event can steal your calm. You may feel pain but not despair. You may face setbacks, but not defeat. You may encounter chaos, but not collapse. This is the unshakable peace of mastery. Closing words. As we close this audiobook, remember, calm is not weakness. It is strength under control. Peace is not passive. It is the active power to remain steady in a storm. Mastery is not perfection. It is progress renewed daily. You now have the tools to live this way. The path is not about doing everything at once, but about practicing steadily, consistently, and faithfully. And as you walk this path, momentum will carry you. Your resilience will grow. Your peace will deepen. And one day, you will realize you are no longer striving for calm. You are living as calm. This is lifelong mastery. This is unshakable peace. If this audiobook gave you value, don't stop here. Hit that like button to show your support. Subscribe to ReadFlow Audiobooks for more powerful content every week. And share this with someone who needs calm, focus, and strength in their life right now. Your journey doesn't end here. This is just the beginning. Stay strong, stay calm, and keep growing with us. See you in the next audiobook.